Getting started this autumn, number 19, how our time has flown. What I'd like to suggest is that come the summer, come next summer, you could save at least a week of your life by setting up your marking in a different way. And I want to talk about how to save that amount of time in your life. Now, to get back to sort of a recap on what we've been doing, I'm suggesting that you divide your assessments into one that deals with the whole pass-fail issue. Everything that's mandatory, everything that's a must-have, everything that is safety critical or whatever, you put it all into a pass-fail assessment, and you use that assessment together with the learning outcomes at pass level to get everybody up to pass level before they sit another assessment for higher grades. And so that's one thing you have to do. Now, you may need a truth table because you got to work out what counts at pass-fail level for a student to get through. So do you give them 2 or 3 goes in the assessment to get to the same basic thing that you're trying to demonstrate? Or how do you go about assessing that? Clearly, if they have to pass absolutely every single statement in their pass-fail document, that's going to be exceptionally difficult for them to do, and that'll be much more than a pass-fail assessment. So you have to work out how you're going to set things up, but you can do that. There are ways of being sure that when a student has gotten through that pass-fail assessment, they are safe to go on and to work in the discipline, and they have the basics that they're going to need to demonstrate later on. You also want an assessment for higher grades, and for those you'll need to have a clear criteria set. And we've thought about that. And personally, I would use criterion-based methods to set both of those assessments. Again, we're going to be using the same material and the outcomes that Griselda and Maya have been working on and allowed us to use for these posts. So we've broken our assessment problem down into 2. We've got a pass-fail assessment, which is based on learning outcomes at pass level, which will include all of the must-have, the stuff that people absolutely have to do in order to be competent. And then we're going to have some learning outcomes at higher levels, which we can assess separately. My guess is that most of us have had our basic experience on paper, either reports that were handed in or on scripts that were collected. But what are your marking options now? Well, I guess a lot of stuff will come to you online. A lot of it will have been collected real time during the examination process or the assessment process. And if you've got access to that, there's a wealth of information there that can tell you a lot about how well you've set your exam, knowing how many words the students produced at different stages of their assessment. I would say take time to set it up properly ahead of time. Document management, if you've got it all there ready to run, can go through very smoothly. And keep a log of comments. If you're going to mark 10 off of the scripts to get some idea of where the standards are, then keep a list of what you've actually written, because very often you want to write the same high quality stuff time and time again for students, because they do perform in similar ways. And you're somebody who used to just record, you'd read through the reports that the students handed in, and then he'd give them a 3 or 4 minute commentary on their report. And the students liked that. He'd tell them what he liked about it, where they struggled, how they could have done better. And he just put it down as a talk through, and that was quite popular. Practical observations, I would say that this way of doing things saves an enormous amount of time. And there's where the week comes that I'm planning to save you. When we started the process with the module that we were working on, it was all exam. A couple of us would have to block out 3 weeks of our lives to get the marking done. Towards the end, the final exam was taking a couple of us about 4 days to do everything. And the pass-fail coursework, of course, is separate, but that gets woven in with stuff. There might be another couple of days involved there. I'd also say I became a great fan of team marking. If you can have a way of agreeing early on amongst the team how you're going to set your standards by perhaps sharing 4 or 5 scripts to begin with. If you have a way real time of saying, I'm not sure about this one, I'm tempted to give it this grade and I'm not quite sure whether it's over this threshold, having those discussions real time while people are actually working is a tremendous asset. So I'm available. Here are my coordinates. Love to hear from you.